In this class, we are going to understand one of the main feature of OOP, that is inheritance. Okay. So what is inheritance? Creation of new classes from already existing classes is known as inheritance. Okay. So what does this statement meaning? Let us understand over here. Suppose let's say there is one class present. Okay. Class A is present. Okay. Class A is present. Okay. And this class is present, and this class contains some properties like what, x comma y. We call these as properties. Okay. Properties are what we call as variables. Okay. And it contains some methods like what, sum. So the code is present, and there is another method present like what, subtraction. Okay. So what is happening is these two are what we call as methods. Okay. Methods are also called as behaviors. Okay. Right. Methods. Now what I would like to do is I would like to create another class. Okay. I would like to create a class. Okay. I would like to create a class. Let's say class. Okay. B. Class B. Suppose this class B should have xy, sum, subtraction, as well as some multiplication method. Generally what we do is we write the variables again, x comma y. Again we write the method void sum. Okay. Sum method we write here, we write the code, as well as this is what, the subtraction method code also we write. And additionally what we are going to do is we write what, the multiplication code here, void, this is what we called as multiplication code we write. Okay. So what is happening in these two classes? The main drawback in this particular two classes you can understand here. So this A class can perform, okay, contains what, x and y properties, and performs what, sum and subtraction operations. And B class is also performing the same, that is what, x and y properties it is having, and sum and subtraction operations it is performing. Okay. So what is happening here, it is this becomes a duplication of code or not? This particular thing becomes what, duplication of code. So the main drawback here it is, okay, duplication of code, I can say that, duplication of code. Okay. This is the main drawback. So how you overcome this particular duplication of code? Duplication of code, how you overcome, how you are going to solve this particular problem? This problem can be solved by using what? Inheritance. By using what? Inheritance. So we can eliminate the duplication of code through inheritance, and inheritance allows reusability of code. How? Let us say that I create a class, let's say class B, that extends from, so B is created from A, I can say that this is what happens with it. Okay, this is what I am going to make it, right? So now this particular thing is called as what? Inheritance. Okay, this is called as inheritance. Okay. Now what does this particular B class do? So B class is created, okay, using what? A class. So creation of new class from already existing class is known as what? Inheritance. Okay. This is what the statement here. See, creation of new class from already existing classes is known as inheritance. So B is a new class that is created from already existing class A, therefore it is called as inheritance. And inheritance we do by using the extends keyword. Okay. And A is called as parent class. Yes, I can say A is a parent class. There is other terminology is present, but I will tell you first of all this is parent. And B is called as what? Child class. Okay. So what happens in the inheritance means child class inherits all the features present in what? The parent class. Means whatever the features present in the parent A class are added to or inherited to what? B child class. What are the features present in the A class? You can see that x, y, sum, subtraction. Okay. All these particular things are added into B class. So what is added into the B class now? Let me write that particular thing. So you can see here. So x is added here, y is added, and what? Sum, as well as what? Subtraction. All these particular things are added. And only we have to write now the subtraction method, some multiplication method. Only multiplication method code we need to write, that's it. Okay. So this is what we call as inheritance. The child class inherits the properties and methods of what? The parent class. Okay. So now see, what is the advantage of inheritance? Now it's eliminating the duplication of code or not. See, in this particular B class there is no duplication of code, but when we come to this particular process, the B class is having the duplication of code which is present in what? A class. So this is what inheritance main advantage is. It eliminates duplication of code, nothing but it allows reusability of code. Means write once the code and use into any number of classes, and anywhere you can use it, and this concept is known as what? Reusability of code. Okay, so this is what. Next we understand inheritance allows a class, means child class, to acquire the properties and behaviors of another class, that is parent class. So child class acquires the properties and behaviors. Properties means fields, variables, and behaviors means what? Methods. Okay, from what? Parent class. This is what happens with it. Okay, so what is the main advantage of inheritance is reusability of code. Okay, write once, use any number of times is the concept of reusability of code. Okay, now to the B class I create an object. So therefore I create an object of B class. Now using this B class object, I say that you can access what? Sum method, you can access what? Subtraction method, you can access what? Multiplication method. Okay, and you can access what? X, you can access what? Y. Okay, so this is what happens with the inheritance. Okay, so what is inheritance? Creation of new classes from already existing classes is known as inheritance, and whatever the features present in the parent class, all that features are added into the subclass, okay, or child class. Okay, so this is what inheritance. Then how many forms of inheritances are there? There are 6 forms of inheritances are there, like what? Single inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. Okay, hierarchical inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance, multi-path inheritance. There are 6 forms of inheritances are there. So now we are going to understand about single inheritance. Okay, we are going to understand about what? Single inheritance. Okay, but before that I am going to give the diagram for inheritance. Let's say that, please. So let us understand diagrammatically what is this inheritance is all about. Suppose assume there is a class A is present. Okay, class A is present. This class A contains some features like feature A, feature B, feature C present. Now the class B is there. Okay, the class B would like to get the features of A. What do you mean by feature here? A feature can be a field, or what we call as variable present in the class, or it can be a method. Okay, or behavior, what we called as behavior, or what we called as method. Okay, feature means the variable present in the class, or it may be a method present in the class. Okay, right. So this B class contains only one feature called as, okay, assume that there is one feature called as D feature. Okay, assume. Now this class B would like to acquire the features from present in what? A class. Therefore class B inherits from class A. This arrow mark indicates it is inheritance. Therefore whatever the features present in the A class, that is inherited into B class. Okay, so this feature inherited from class A, and this is the own feature of class B. Okay, so this is what happens. This is what we call as inheritance. Okay, so creation of the B class from A class is called as what? Inheritance. Now, so what is this class is called as? This class is called as parent class, or it can also be called as what? Base class, or it can also be called as superclass. Okay, but in Java generally what it is called means, in Java it is called as superclass. Sorry, this is what superclass is called in Java. Okay, and a base class is in C++ we call it as what? Base class. Okay, but when we come to this class, what is this class is called as? It is called as child class, or it can also be called as what? Derived class, or it also called as subclass. Okay, but in which language it is called what? Let us understand. So in Java it is called as what? Subclass. And when we come to the C++, it is called as what? Derived class. Okay, so this is what. So this is what actually the terminologies of the parent class and what? The child class. So in general it is called as parent and child classes, but in Java the parent class is known as superclass and the child class is called as what? Subclass. This is what inheritance diagrammatically we can understand. Okay, so whatever the features present in the A class are added to the B class, and B class can have its own features. Okay, so this is. So like this, inheritances are six forms of inheritances are there. But when we come to the single inheritance, what is single inheritance means? Creation of subclass from single superclass is called as what? Single inheritance. Means this diagram is nothing but an example of single inheritance, because B is inheriting from only one superclass A. Okay, so this is what single inheritance. Now if you understand a program with the help of an example, let us see now. See, class A contains two features. One is sum method, next one is what? Subtraction method. Okay, right. Then when you come to the class B extends from what? A. So B is a class that is extending from A. Okay, now B is having only multiplication method is present. Okay, now B contains actually, now B inherits the two features from A, means what? Sum and subtraction. So finally the B class contains three features or three methods: sum, subtraction and multiplication. Therefore in the main class, what happens is we are creating an object of B class. Using this B class object we are calling what? Sum, subtraction of A class. Okay, sum and subtraction of A class will be called. This is what sum and subtraction of A class will be called. And it can also call what? The multiplication present in the B class. Okay, now B class object is performing three operations, two from A and one from what? B. This is what we call as reusability. So B is using the methods present in the A class, and this feature generally called as what? Inheritance, and the main advantage is what? Reusability of code. Okay, so we have written the code in A and we are using in the B. Okay, so this is what we call as inheritance. Okay.